What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Javier Mendez Podcast with Sunglasses Guy. And I am the Bay. That's my new name. You see, you don't know that I'm Sunglasses Guy. But, I brought Brian on here because you guys have watched, millions of people have watched his videos. I was watching them before I ever filmed at AKA. And, he's got some classic stuff. I mean, I guess the first question to ask you is, how did you get to start filming at AKA? I know you film for DC. How did that all start?
So it's a little weird because I used to when I started doing photography, I was doing mostly music stuff. So I was doing a lot of concerts and events for some major artists. And then when that started fizzling out, one of my buddies who was a barber, Robert, he introduced me to DC at the barbershop. And he told him, hey, my buddy's a photographer, you should check him out. And DC at the time kind of just blew me out. Like, just another guy, I ran into him at a Concord show in
Cow Palace?
Pavilion. No, at the Concord Pavilion. I ran into him there.
Concord Pavilion.
Okay. So do you remember me? Kind of like, nah, I don't remember you. And I asked to take a photo of him outside. Now, if you've ever been to that pavilion, it's a beautiful place. It looks right over the waterfront. The sun was coming down. It was just beautiful. And I asked him to step outside to take a photo. So he stepped outside with me, kind of, a little hesitant at first. Who's this guy? Asking me to step out to take a photo. But anyways, I took the photo. He loved it. And from there, it was just business. From there, it was just business. That was it.
2017? Well, I mean, that's when you started your channel. When did it all start? Like, what year was that?
Oh, man, this was maybe 14, I think 2014. The YouTube channel came about because I was away from home so often that I just kind of wanted to record something. It wasn't even private. Sorry, my account was not even live. It was private. Just something for my family and kids to see while I was away. Just kind of keep them updated with what I was doing and, just kind of to see that I was actually working, And that's all it was at first. So it was private to begin with.
Well, I mean, just most recently, and we'll bounce back and forth because there's a big story here. I always found it interesting. You and I were both camera guys there. I come in later. You're like, who's this guy? You've seen guys coming in and out of there like, who's this guy? Like, we're all trying to get this shot and we're all thinking of our channels. Like, I want to get the most views. It's like super vloggers, right? But there's one stage and that's AKA. So you could be in the main training room catching some great banter with DC and Khabib, and I'm over here, filming the cage or something, and then I can't put that out because it's sparring. I'm like the rookie. You're like, haha, he's filming the cage. Coach is not going to let him put that up, right? So, but we were looking for the best moment, and people would come in, press, ESPN, all these people would come in wanting to get that, especially a week out before the fight. And you've been there through, I mean, how many camps? I would guess from 2014 to 2021.
Yeah, I've been through some camps. I think, I can't even put a number on how many between all the fighters. So several, definitely several.
I like 20. Probably say 20.
Somewhere around there. And to kind of break it down, when I first started, I wasn't even doing video. The video was kind of out of the question because, of course, you wanted to keep the training a secret. Nobody wanted the footage released. But as social media evolved and these fighters started seeing the importance of social media, they were kind of like, hey, can we just push a little more content, or can you film me doing XYZ? And that's where they started getting comfortable. Now, of course, with what you film, you really, really got to be careful because you don't want to put these guys in a bad limelight. And unfortunately, the media and social media and just people in general like to twist things out of context. And that's where you really, really got to be careful on what you release.
Yes. Sometimes I have to ask, Hav, can I put this out? No. They'll take this and they'll try to make it mean this, like spin media, right?
Exactly.
Take it out of context. That's horrible. But like, I know that I've had to sit on film and, you and I have said like, this is a good one.
Yeah.
We get, once we started our YouTube channels, we're like, this is going to kill. This is going to get, people are going to love this. This is like the newest TV show. This is the newest edition of Khabib or Daniel Cormier or Islam or something.
Right.
And we're like ready to release it to the world. And when it would be a hot camp, can you remember the days when it would be a Khabib camp for the belt or pre-Conor, or one of the main times? I think after Conor, it probably really kicked hard the views,
Because I remember with Ala Clinta, I mean, there wasn't that much attention behind it. I mean, there was, but not to the extremity it is now. But now, I mean, anything you put out, everyone wants to see. They can't get enough of Khabib camps, So that just generates views.
Well, I remember as a rookie coming in there, and I just came there to work with Javier. I realized Khabib was a big star, but I had no idea how big of a star he was. I do now, right? And I've hung out with him, and I've traveled, and just like you, I get to have some of those experiences, but not even the depth of what you had. And, I was always like, Javier, you have a great story. Let's keep it alive. Let's do a podcast, a living legacy. Because I was filming his coach, Walt Carvalho, who was passing away, and trying to make a documentary while the guy was on his last leg. And I was hearing more and more about how awesome Javier was. Like,
Right.
I got to meet this guy. This guy is like, as long as I've been around martial arts, I wanted somebody that kind of lived like a Bruce Lee, that the honor, the code. And that's who he is, the humility. And,
Right.
you can go to other gyms and there's Johnny 5000, Mr. Cool, and, he doesn't really care about you. He's just like, yeah, pay to be at my gym. Javier cares. He's out shaking hands, kissing babies, being nice to people's kids, and, he's a good dude. And
Definitely.
that was the attraction, would be harder with a different kind of personality.
Of
But
course.
remember what it's like to upload a video and you're looking down and your counter's going 25,000 views an hour. Remember those feelings?
That only happened with one of my videos, and man, it was tough because it was considered clickbait, but at the same time it wasn't. It was I think it was called McGregor Visits AKA, or McGregor Shows Up at AKA, and it was basically a funny skit that Khabib just on the fly, a little boy comes up to him and doesn't know really who he is, and Khabib goes, "Hey, who am I?" And the guy goes, the little boy goes, "I don't know." And then he goes, "Hey, my name is Conor McGregor. Nice to meet you." And that's why I put that title. And it just blew up out of proportion. That one was crazy. That one was when I put McGregor Shows Up at AKA, the counter just went crazy on that one.
When I was filming one of the camps before the lockdowns and all that, I'd upload a video and see it jump 25,000 views in an hour going, what is this thing going to hit?
Yeah.
And then today, we do a podcast, maybe we'll get 10, 20, 30,000 views, depending. It's like hardcore people will show up.
Yeah.
We have a great fan base, but even if you have 80,000, 100,000 subscribers, it's not an automatic 100,000 views.
No, and that's what everyone thinks. Oh, you're a YouTuber, you make XYZ money. No. It's not the way it works.
Right.
Some of the videos do have a lot of views and some don't, and that's okay. My main thing now with this channel is just to put out content for the fighters, to people see the other side of them and just see them interact with people, interact with their teammates, and how they come, how they overcome adversity and how they look like when they're in the limelight and, they win, because of, unfortunately in the fight business, not, you don't win all the time.
No.
And it's a good medium to show how people are still human, yeah, they're fighters, but they're still human. They're just like you and I, they go through all the spectrums of emotions, and, through the video, we get to capture that.
That's true. And, you're building someone's story, and it might just be something in the moment. He doesn't care 2 weeks later, but
Yes.
3-4 years from now, 10 years from now, that'll be there. And
Yeah.
he'll have gotten something. He'll have that moment, unlike, sports teams of 30 years ago. They have that one time on TV of 30 seconds. That's my uncle. That's my uncle.
Yes, exactly.
But we're able to make television quality stuff at times with super HD. At the same time, talking about camera stuff, some of you guys watching are like, oh, when you're talking camera stuff, it's like Brian and I, it's our thing. It's like, if we filmed in 4K, not everybody's internet has the speed to even play it. And you'd alienate the people that watch your videos.
You're right.
Because it would just be spinning little YouTube, right?
And then it's weird, but a lot of my videos, they're seen overseas, and like you said, the internet speed's not all there. And, I try to cater to everybody. So I do have 4K capability. Sometimes I just prefer 1080p, shoot it and get it over with,
And editing it too. Come on, it'll choke your computer.
Yeah.
Even if you have a fast computer,
Yep.
like I need an $8,000 computer just to get through this clip before, and still have dinner with my family, or I'll be here for 2 days.
Yes.
That's kind of how it works, right?
Yes,
So yeah, the UFC comes out with big production gear, and they probably have hundreds of thousands of dollars, but I think we do good with what we got. I'm going to show
Definitely.
one of your videos. Maybe tell me about it. Can you see that on the screen?
I see that. Yeah, there we go.
And let's see how I can play that. I got to go to the clip. Let me see. So yeah, this is DC, AKA, right?
And I believe he's singing some Ice Cube right there as he's coming into the gym.
He's got a big personality. I mean, it's like you're filming a bunch of shows every time this guy pops up, right?
DC is a one-man show.
Right.
It's one-man show.
So just to give you guys watching some context, this is outside of AKA in San Jose, California. And it looks like once you took that picture with him, you were off and running. He's like, I need you everywhere. You followed this guy around for years, huh?
Yes. And see, a good thing, I mean, since he's not fighting no more, this is a good way to look back and, kind of from the outside looking in, experience it one more time.
Right. That's the main training floor. I think Khabib is in this one somewhere. I think he pops up.
Right
Let me
there.
take a quick look just for all you Khabib fan. Is that him getting stretched?
Yes.
We get quite a few people in this video. Let's get some Khabib because everybody here loves Khabib. So yeah, you're in there filming, and I was watching one of your clips the other day, and it was you filming me. I don't know what's up with the underwear commercials, so sorry, I'm not paying to be here. Got to pay the bills. Nothing wrong with that one, man. Is it still playing in the background? Do you hear it, or is that just me? Okay. Anyways, just to bring that into context, I'd wake up in the morning. What practice is what, 10 in the morning till 12 in the afternoon, right? Usually, or is it 12 to 2?
So the time change, the time changed. So pre-COVID, it was man, I don't even remember, to tell you the truth. It was
I thought it was 10 to 2 because I'll do a podcast. I was doing a podcast with Hav at like 1 or 2 in the afternoon, California.
Yeah, I want to say 12 to 2. The time's changed.
Yeah.
Pre-COVID.
And that's like, so now that they move it forward more, is it later or earlier when practice is?
It's a little earlier. I think it works out a little better for the fighters and some of the coaches. That way they have, more of the afternoon to recover a little bit. Not all the fighters are sponsored fighters, so a lot of them still have jobs. And I think with the earlier start time, it gives them the opportunity to work in the afternoon and take care of what they need to do as far as their responsibilities.
That's true. Like some fighters still have regular jobs, either driving Uber. A lot of guys drive Uber. A lot of guys, what else are they doing for work? Like working as a bouncer, or
I think there's construction in there. I mean, from all walks of life, whatever work these guys can get, to help support themselves and help alleviate the cost of camps and training.
Yeah, it's expensive. And California is expensive. That's what's really hard.
Yes, California is crazy.
And I think Javier did talk, and he still considers back and forth about maybe going to Vegas one day and having a gym there. That's more cost effective for a fighter. Because California is like going and training in Monaco. Like a place where it's just ridiculously expensive unless you were established. And you work full time and still film, right?
Yeah, so I still film. I mean, I try to be available to the fighters for whatever they need. So I go to AKA, I do other side photography and video gigs, and then I have another, full-time job on top of that. I'm a dad, I'm a husband, and a family guy as well. So we just try to make it work with the 24 hours we have in a day.
You bust your butt, man. This is a clip. This is a clip that set it off recently. Some people, there's a couple of them I wanted to share, right? Of what you were doing, and maybe give me a little backstory of what happened to this. Let me go to my share screen here. I gotta play with this little thing to get the right video to come in. Let me see, guys. Hang in there one sec. Okay, let's go to YouTube Chrome tab. Okay, that's Nelly. This one.
Nelly.
This is the big one. We'll go to Nelly next, but this is the one.
Hav's hair. So Hav's hair was all over social media. It was on, I believe, ESPN, Reuters, RT Sports. It was just crazy.
Right.
Over Hav's hair. And I think Hav looks good. He just went and got a haircut, to spiffy up a little bit. Nothing too crazy. And I guess Khabib didn't like the haircut.
And it's funny because Khabib just makes it'll outdo a television show or a movie release. I mean, what's your favorite show to watch? Coach Javier's haircut. I watch that at least. I mean, it's an ongoing series. The battle goes back and forth. We put up a clip about it today. So what's going on at AK right now? Who are you filming lately? What have you been doing in between the big camps? That we can go back and talk about this after. But what's your current state?
So right now, how would I explain it? So I'm available to the fighters, so whatever they need. Right now, there's a bunch of fighters who are going into Bellator. So I did some of the portraits for Bellator. That way, they have photos. They have photos available to them. Fighter poses and stuff like that for their media and for their promotions to reach out to sponsors. So I've been doing that right now. Actually, in about 50 minutes, I'm head over right now. You have Sean Bunch fighting pretty soon at the end of the month, and UAE Warriors. So I just help them out, push a little social media for them. You have Deron Wynn, who's coming up again pretty soon. So just some of the local fighters, I just try to help out and help them with the social media, just to, give them the extra little push that they have.
So let me see. I think I get some fan questions. Let me see if I can find a good one here. People are representing from Oregon, just so you can see at the bottom of the screen there.
Oregon coach. Oregon coach.
Let me see. So, okay, this was a good question. This is from Sam. For both, what are some nice, interesting off-camera moments you shared with fighters? Have they ever approached you and had a conversation? And that's the thing. I like to share what it looks like behind the scenes. Go ahead, Brian. Take the floor.
So first and foremost, the thing you understand is these fighters. They turn into family. So of course we're having conversations off camera. For example, with DC, when we're in fight camp, everyone's always together. His fight camp, everyone travels everywhere together. We all eat together, train together. If we're not, training, we're hanging out together. So of course, you build a good rapport with the fighters, and you become family. And it's more than just filming and friends. It's family. Honestly, I consider AKA extended family, and whatever these guys need, I'm there for them, and vice versa.
This is I'll go back to like the moments. You've traveled with these guys. You were you traveled down to LA with them. You've traveled to Las Vegas. You've shared hotels or hotel rooms, or you're all there in the package. That's how intimate the cameraman job is when you're working with AKA guys.
Yep.
And part of the rules is you can't let things out that they don't condone, and also they could be tricked in controversy. You can't give up any secret moves they might be using on their adversaries. So all sparring footage is really, it's not worth much to our channels, right? And we'd never hear the end of it if we did, right?
Right. So, like for example, I have some very slight training footage of Khabib out there. It's not much, but it's stuff that he approves. Now that's the thing that people understand with Khabib. There's so much behind his name and his image that before we release things, he wants to just go over them and make sure there's nothing on there that's not, I wouldn't say inappropriate, but things that would come off in the wrong image, since he speaks Russian and Dagestani in a lot of the videos. I don't know what he's saying, and I don't know what he's trying to convey to somebody. So we just don't want it to get misconstrued. So we just kind of let him watch it over and see his okay before release. As far as Daniel Cormier, whatever I want to post, he never tells me, hey, don't release this or don't do that. I'm free range with it. But of course, the reason these guys have so much trust and so much confidence in myself, and probably you as well, is because they know that you have their best interests at heart at the end of the day. You're not going to release something that's going to make them look bad or seem controversial or something that's going to get them in trouble. Not that these guys are doing that type of stuff, but of course, people like to twist certain things and certain aspects.
Someone can re-edit your clip and reinterpret it and make some spin, and
exactly.
we got to protect them. Like we're not invited unless we show the respect, and that's how it works, right?
Definitely. Just like with Tony Ferguson when he was going to fight, I forgot who he was fighting, but he mentioned during his press conference that Khabib was beating up on little kids when he was referring to Chase Saldate, and they were wrestling. Hey, Chase is a grown man now, and they were wrestling, and that experience you're not going to get anywhere else. Of course, it looked a little rough in the video, but that's experience and knowledge. And afterwards, they sat down, they went over what went right, what went wrong, and how Chase can improve. And look at where Chase is at now.
It was a privilege to grapple with Khabib. It's
Definitely.
like if you're a young boxer and Muhammad Ali says, "Step in here, let me show you a few moves, kid." It's going to hurt a little bit, but you're going to learn.
Definitely.
And if that's what you're in, But I could see how people take that out of context. That's kind of BS.
Right.
I mean, I
But
I didn't know what he was referencing because I saw no videos of Khabib like breaking into an elementary school chasing kids around. I never saw anything like that. It's like they're referring about a 17-year-old wrestler, and he wasn't punching him, he wasn't GMPing him, he wasn't putting hard submissions and choking him like Conor or anybody like that, right?
Just going through the motions. That's all it was.
Right. This is a good one. I am the Bay. This is from Dark Mewtwo. Your videos are so cool. Seeing how Khabib and the other guys train daily is like awesomely documented on your channel. I gotta agree. I gotta agree. That's why I wanted you to do this, because some people can actually that have watched your stuff. Where it's we won't get like everybody like Javier, but someone else said something too. And these are my buddies. They found me. I don't really put my social media out there. They hunted me down. But I'm going to put this real quick. So twins, Ramadi, let me say it right. Ramtani. Okay, twins Ramtani. How are you guys? It's two twin brothers. Coach Javier said sometimes Khabib loses a round against Islam. Do one of you have videos? If yes, will we see this video? I don't think I have a video of that.
If I do, I'm not saying I do or I don't, but if I did, you would never see it.
Maybe when they're 90, put it out, I mean, yeah, that's how we have to value our relationships as guys. They get to film inside AKA, but the cool thing is that people get to see their favorite fighter way more than they would if it's better than just some, UFC Unplugged or whatever the embedded, those are great, but that's all they get, right?
Right. And these are the fighters just being themselves, interacting with their friends or, just the teammates and just shooting the breeze. I mean, nothing scripted and everything is the way they're presenting it is the way it is.
Guys being guys. And that's the thing where people come on and they see this and they go, what am I seeing here? And Javier's like, get the dialogue. Stop trying to train all the sparring. And I'm like, I get some more cool kicks. And he's like, he'll put those up. No one's going to watch those. People want to know them as people, right?
Exactly.
So, what was your favorite trip or your coolest experience getting to film? Like, which trip was it? Was it with DC? Was it going with Khabib somewhere? Like, maybe like top two or top three?
The DC camps are always fun. I mean, on Friday, there's always something team building that we do. And that's, something that you're going to remember for your rest of your life. The coolest thing was spending a week in New York with DC during DC Derek Lewis. That whole trip was just amazing. I mean, we got to go to the Barclays Center and just, one of the historic spots in the world as far as venues. And that's something I'm going to remember forever. And of course, just the friendships that you make. I mean, I never thought I'd be good friends with half the guys at AKA, and man, some of them are best friends, So that's what I really
you're about who you film, right? You made friends with people that other people are they wish they could talk to, and it wasn't. You've probably never been that kind of guy. You've never been trying to like, hey, be my friend. You're just a very quiet, focused individual. You're a natural family man, good guy, man.
Similar to Will Harris. Let me comment on that real quick. Will Harris is the man. I mean, I can't even compare to Will Harris's skills. I mostly shoot behind the scenes. I like to consider it behind the scenes content. Will Harris is on a just different level of documenting skills.
Cinematic.
Exactly. That guy, it's something else to see him work.
I think you could make, and I can make good YouTube videos, but he makes stuff that you could watch on the big screen. And the way, the effort, the storytelling that he puts into it is next level. Yeah. We're like, here's 10 minutes of awesomeness. He's like, here's 60 minutes. You know what I mean? And that's different, right?
The crazy thing is that when I first started making my YouTube channel public, a lot of people would call me, oh, you fake, Will Harris ripoff. Oh, you're just biting Will Harris.
No.
A lot of these people did not know that him and I were friends. So they were leaving, some bad comments in the comment section. And I'm like, hey, you guys know we are friends. We know each other. And, once that was put out there, I mean, just nipped it in the butt.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, can't say that in the beginning I didn't have some like, oh my gosh, they're so far ahead. I'll never be there. How am I going to grow my channel? What if all the growing in the industry's been done? But people want to see the new content. And I think, go ahead.
Sorry. Will Harris was one of the pioneers of the way we do it. And there's so many filmmakers now that are following fighters. And I think these fighters are starting to see the importance and the benefits of having someone film their life and their interaction that, there's a lot of guys now. If you pay attention, a lot of these fighters have their own photographers, own videographers. But I'm glad to say that I was one of the few to begin, to pioneer experience that besides Will, because Will was one of the first. I mean, Will was the one that set the foundation, and the bar, the expectation.
Well, he gave us something. He gave us something to work off of. He put out the blueprint because he was the first man to land on the moon. He went over to Dagestan. Like some people went in, that might be scary. And he went out there solo and, met up with Khabib and made, really shined a light on the amazing culture and fighting skills of the Dagestani people. Right?
Yeah.
Here's another question for you by Sam.
Yeah, I was going to answer that one. Sam, of course. I mean, there's several fighters you need to watch out for. One of them being Kyle Crutchmer. That guy is just something spectacular. Bellator fighter. It's crazy, crazy talented. Of course, you have Nick. I'm going to murder his last name. Pacini coming up. You have Kobe Smith coming up. And then you have all these guys going into Bellator as well. You have Mark Lamanco, who's been on several promotions, and that guy is just killer. So watch out for Mark Lamanco. You have Mo Alacrack. I'm sorry, I'm going to kill his last name, but Mo.
I know you're talking about Mo. We know Mo is, yeah.
Man,
Judo Mo.
Man, you have Soulsman.
Mo Alec. I think it's Mo Alec. I think that's what it is.
I don't want to murder his name, but yeah, then you have a guy named Soulslan. Oh my God. When you see these guys, you're going to know. And then, of course, I mean, how can you forget Khabib's camp? You have Usman, you have Umar, you have Gaji, you have Islam. These guys are
here. There's so many.
Here, yes.
Oh, what about Manop? You know what I mean?
Manop is just something else.
Right.
You said to keep an eye out. Of course, my apologies. Yeah, but Manop, I mean, these guys, they're just, and of course, one more. I mean, underrated guy, Kyle Driscoll. You got to throw Kyle Driscoll into that mix.
Yeah, he went on the Contender Series. They just have like some kind of he won his fight, but you have to win it a certain way to make Dana happy, I guess.
Yeah.
But winning is winning usually, but in that type of way to get the contract, they're like, maybe we might just bring you in last minute or something. Hopefully that happens for him. Here's a good one. I like this. Who is the funniest fighters and practical jokers? I think you worked with the king of that.
DC's got to be number one. I mean, Deron Wynn with the jokes and comebacks. As far, I'm gonna go off script and go non-fighter. Rosendo Sanchez. Rosendo Sanchez will roast you.
Coach Rosendo. Not Javier. He does the stand-up for DC, right? He's the stand-up coach for DC. Yeah. Rosendo, former pro boxer.
Yeah.
Right.
The only one to ever beat Nanito Denardis. I'm sorry, I'm gonna murder his last name too. But yeah, though I mean everyone has their own character and their own little ways of being, but. Yeah, definitely those guys are some of the top practical jokers.
That's for sure. I mean, I always thought DC was one of the funniest. Khabib is natural.
Yes.
He's better than professional comedians. He can make something funny.
Believe it or not, Coach Javier sometimes comes clutch with the jokes, and you're like, oh, I wasn't expecting that from him. He'll catch you off guard, but he'll get you good. When you least expect it, yeah, he got you.
Javier produces the best jokey, funny videos. He gets them. It's like he's writing the script and it plays into whether it's opening fan mail or whatever. He can see it. I mean, I can't, I see it after and go, darn, he did a good job on that one.
Yeah. Let's see. The good thing about Coach Jav, if you look at him too, I mean, he's one of the guys pioneering as a coach all the social media. He understands the importance of social media. And I applaud him for posting as much as he does and getting content out and just, overall getting his name out and his brand and image and showing him true self. He's always joking around, and that's good because you see these coaches and sometimes they're all serious and it's business, but it can't be like that 24/7.
I think people wonder because his videos are so darn funny. Is he serious? Like, come on, it's a serious fight. But they do so much seriousness that what does Javier say? Relax.
Yes.
He doesn't want his fighters like, okay, you're going to the mountain and you're going to fight the dragon. It's not like that, right? It's not exactly that situation. So his humor, I mean, he constructs it as it goes.
Right.
Here's a question for you. Why don't you answer that one from Clips YT?
So it depends. It really depends on the fighter and what they got going on. If they have camp, a typical fighter will go, they'll do one session in the morning. That's your AM session. They'll go back midday for cardio on their own. And depending on the day of the week, they'll go back to hit mitts with Coach Jav, or they'll do bike on their own. Bike is a whole like cardio session, or they'll do either jujitsu. I'm stuttering on my words. So a typical fighter, depending on their camp, 3-4 times a day. And that's what we see. I mean, a lot of these guys work on their own. Saturday and Sunday, they're either jogging, running, or resting.
How you like that one?
Yeah, it's a lot of training.
No. How you like that new question?
That's not a question. That's C. Will Harris right there.
That's respect right there. That's the man.
That's
the main man.
Hats off to that gentleman. I mean, we can never be put in the same category as far as filmmaking. That guy is just something else.
He does amazing stuff, man. His, Anatomy of a Fighter, the Khabib series, the Dagestan Chronicles. It's amazing. Great. Shout out to you, Will. Yeah. What's up, brother?
And
great work.
I know Will is famous for his fighting content, but I can't wait to see what else he has in store.
I'm curious to see what he comes up with, right?
Yeah, you saw him break off and do a little wrestling series. That was excellent.
I think he's going to come up with another one that's like, we don't know what it is, because he's got a very creative mind. And it's interesting, both of you came from music video background, right?
Right. So I was doing a lot of photography for a lot of major artists. And then I just started going into the film. Like I told you, it wasn't even to promote, to the general public. I mean, the majority of the stuff was just for my family to see behind the scenes, of what I was doing while I was gone. Because, you're gone. You're gone from your family quite a bit, during camp.
That's the truth. So nice of him to drop by. That gives like credibility to our podcast now. Now we get real credibility. That's awesome, man. Let's see. So yeah, this is like for Will, but even though everybody's like, that'd be cool if he does go do this, go make a documentary in Dagestan on Islam. That would be pretty cool to see. And he's also got a lot of people he's filming too. So like us being cameraman, I start on one thing, I get pulled somewhere, you get pulled on one, you were going to film Khabib's camp, but DC has you filming something for his camp and going somewhere else. So that's kind of what happens too in the cameraman world, right?
Right.
So if Islam's in San Jose, you'll be able to film a lot of that.
Yes.
Did you get a lot last camp? I know, it's like, I don't want these moves to be seen because he's now in the top 10. I mean, what has that been like?
So the way it worked for this last camp, and everyone was asking me for footage, Khabib, make sure you hit the like button. There you go. Khabib straight bought me out. All my content goes straight to him. He has something big in the works. So it's coming under wraps. I mean, but just keep an eye out in the near future for things that he has with his fighters. And he was the man. He just said, hey, here's what I got going. This is what I'm offering you. Kind of like an NDA type agreement where I can't release anything. Everything was directed to him, but it'll be something amazing to watch at the end.
Amazing. That's the best we can say. Something amazing is coming.
Yeah.
Right. I don't want to take you out of your NDA, but it's awesome. Let's see. What did he say here? Brian will understand this more than anyone. It's hard producing this stuff alone. I'd love more than ever to film fighters every day, but it's hard financially. And thank you for making our show better, by the way, Will. Because this adds more juice to it. Because we just like last minute slapped this together, but it's true.
Yeah,
it's financially hard. Talk about that.
You're a one-man running gun, so I mean, certain angles that you want to get and certain shots that you want to make it look very cinematic. It's hard because you're one man crew. You're everything. And as far as a financial hit, it's a lot. Not only do you have to care of yourself while you're on the road, but for example, myself, I have a family, so I have to make sure my family's well off here at home before I even get to leave. Then, of course, sometimes you have rentals, you have gear rentals, you have flights, you have hotels, you have your food. If something breaks, you got to replace it. Of course, there's insurance, but, the person you're filming can't wait for insurance money to come in. You need to go buy equipment right then and there. And you just got to be flexible in that sense and have a little budget or a little play money for emergencies.
I want to chime in on that too. I upgraded my cameras, my lenses, my computers. I thought, we'll just do this on a shoestring budget. You can't film gold, with a piece of dirt. You need a better and better and better and better camera. I know Will was working with a serious camera, but then he was filming at such high res that he probably needed a real serious computer to edit it. And then he's going to go home and make a story out of it. So he's going to see his shot before he shows up. If he's telling a story, he's going to see it framed, what his story is, and he's filming around it and turning it into what it is. Unlike a regular movie producer, they just show up and cut, take 2, take 3. we're one shot, make it look good, right? Wouldn't you agree, Brian?
Yeah, let me show you. I'm gonna quick story. Let me just pull this thing out real quick. And this just goes to show the friendship and the camaraderie that you have with the coaches and fighters. Oh man, when I first started I was having problems with my computer. My computer was going out. My motherboard was breaking, and I was talking casually to Rosendo. He took me out to lunch one day, and I was like, "Man, I don't know what I'm gonna do. My computer's going bad." And you could tell, your computer's starting to break. It starts glitching out a little bit, and it just, it's like on its last leg and it's dying out. And I was telling Rosendo, "Man, I don't know what I'm gonna do. We have a camp coming up, and you know what? I'm embarrassed to ask for money. I'm embarrassed to really let people know you're struggling." And Rosendo on the fluke said, "Hey, I'll give you half of the money for a brand new computer." I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah." So to his word, I took out a credit line and I got the computer on credit. And as soon as I had it in hand, he goes, "Hey, how much was it?" Keep in mind, my computer was about almost $4,000, right? And Rosendo Sanchez broke me off. Boom, there you go. And gave me the money to pay for the computer. This is the computer that had broke on me. This was one of my first ones. I think it's a 2012, and I kept it. But Rosendo, just how real. He never asked for the money back, never asked me for any favors. Just him on him being a good guy, want to make sure I'm okay. There's the money, half of the money for the laptop, as promised.
I put that out there. Sam is asking, Will, I'd love to see you do one on Islam. That would be amazing. Whatever was working for you in your world. And we do understand, I understand what we were talking about earlier is your cost of doing things. Sometimes you film this hoping that because YouTube doesn't make millionaires out of everybody that has millions of views. It doesn't mean that. You might make some good money, but it's cyclical, and it also depends. I mean, you could have the greatest Khabib or something footage or new clip coming out, and then lockdown hits.
Yes.
And everybody's interest goes into survival mode.
Yeah.
And what you did was wiped out by the causes of this planet, right?
Yeah.
It kind of sucks.
And a lot of people don't know some of the revenue I do get from YouTube. I do donate. So I donate to, a lot of, I don't want to sound negative against organizations or anything of that sort, but I do know, donate to kids that I see that are hungry, because I do a lot of traveling and you see a lot of poverty. So I'll go and I'll buy everybody, lunch, dinner, or clothing, or whatever they need, shoes for that matter. So some of the money that I do make off YouTube does get donated.
That's pretty nice of you, man.
Yeah.
This is not to skip over you. I'm like keeping it moving because I know you
No, keep on.
How many minutes do you have? Because I want to make sure we do. How much time do I have left with you so I can keep this on point with you?
So I got to be at AK about 5:30. So we still got a little bit of time.
Okay. We get like 20 minutes or something, or do we have
Yeah,
less than that?
You're good.
Okay. Well, this is a good one. Len and Brian, how long do you spend on editing? For example, how much time do you spend on a 10-minute stream, on a 10-minute video stream? Well, I guess 10-minute video piece, knowledge power. Tell me, what is a 10-minute video like to you? Or you shoot and it's shot, or when you go back and edit like you did with the haircut job, for you gave it that look of embedded. You gave it that big, and they use hundreds of thousands of dollars, and you're able to cut that together with with good equipment and still make it look just as good. Like we're not getting the cheap version. So
the equipment that I shot that with was actually oversaw by Will. I reached out to Will. I'm like, "Hey man, what can I get for this budget? Bang for my buck." And he recommended what to get, and that's how I did that. But as far as editing, it depends on the fighter. For example, those clips that I put together of Khabib were actually clips that Khabib had posted onto his own Instagram, and all I did was put them together to put on a YouTube video. That's something he had given me permission to do. But the way it worked with him is like, hey, at the end of the night, I need something to put on my Instagram. You got 2 hours. And I'm like, oh, snap's kind of going into rush edit mode. So it was kind of just thrown together, and it came out okay. But if you really want to sit there and perfect and kind of fine tune everything, it's going to take a little bit of time on my end.
We camera guys know that the average person watching might not know.
Yeah.
But you and I and Will, we could all see what each other's doing or not doing.
Right.
And, can't see someone like Will's on a higher level, so he's doing some more even higher level stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I could graduate to that, but I'm more focused on the podcast. I started like I'm a podcasting, filming, editing, interviewing, confused person, a Swiss Army knife of MMA, right? And now I'm finding my lane with Javier doing this. I love it. I would go film again. I did film in Dubai, and I get some amazing stuff, but I can't put it out because that's going to the Khabib files, just like kind of what you have. You know what I mean?
Just to touch on that one more time, you got to take consideration. Some of the times you're up at, you're done with your training, you know, maybe 11, 12 at night. By the time you finish eating, by the time you take a shower, it's 1, 2:30 in the morning, and you have to edit something real quick before you go to bed and get up at 6 or 7 o'clock, depending on your fighter. So of course, you know, you make little spelling errors, and man, these guys are rough on you when they do spelling errors, but they don't see what it takes to put out that, you know, that clip. You know, you're up 2, 3 in the morning editing, maybe hour and a half, and then you got to get up in a few hours to do it all over again.
That's for sure. Question for you from Ahmed El Sayed, because you're also a photographer. So yeah, you were mainly doing photo, and then you're like, well, video is just a little different. Let's change this up, right?
Yeah, it's 24 more frames a second, or 23 more frames a second. Did Brian take the photo of DC wrestling with the white belt on his waist? I'm not sure which one you're referring to. If I saw it, I'd probably know. The good thing is, like, if I see an image, I'll know I shot it. So if you were to point it out, I'd probably know.
This is good. How can I do this? That'd be fun to add him on here. You know?
Yeah, three-way dog.
Let's do it. Let's do it like a mutual. Like have all the camera guys on it. That'd be kind of cool. And just like, I like to hear about it. Like we're all different levels. He's doing this like full time for a living. I'm basically retired, but I can work on. I worked in TV, Brian.
Yeah.
And cinematic and filming is another higher level than TV, than aiming that big one camera in a studio, and then your environment stays the same when you're filming something moving and capturing the light and all that other stuff. And then, you know, also, like I think he's pointing out here, put it like this: you can spend a week on video and put it out and get 50,000 views on YouTube, and that's maybe $200 to $300, and it's a lot of times. Well said. Well said. Well said. It's about the love. It's not about the money at that point.
Exactly. And Will would know better than anybody else. I mean, look at his camera. His camera's, I think it was about 35 to 40K, and you're making $200 profit. I mean, where's your return on that? You know, you're not really making a return, but like you said, it's for the love of what he does.
Right.
Definitely.
I'm so happy you tuned in here because this is a great talking matter. It's like the different levels. I came in behind you. If I would have stayed filming, I'd be in a different level, but I didn't. You know, I filmed with the old, like, you remember those little 3 CCD tapes, the little cassette? I had the big old Canon, video camera when those were popular. I was filming Chuck Liddell and Nick Diaz and all these people before I ever did anything over here. We had a website called MMA Jacked, and that's the shirt that you see, and that was the gym that I was running too. So we had a website and a gym, and we had like 30,000 followers, and all our videos got hits when Chuck was a rock star.
Yeah,
and we'd go down and we would film over at AK once in a while. But go ahead.
And just to touch real quick on what Will said too about that income. I mean, there's guys, and it's weird to see that there's guys on YouTube who are shooting it on an iPhone, and these guys have millions of subscribers, and these guys are just raking in dough. And you know, you have some decent equipment, and you're barely scraping by with the revenue. So I mean, it's really hit or miss, and depending on your content. But just like that, you know, some guys make it off iPhone cameras and footage. You know, it is what it is in that sense.
This is a great one. I'll answer this one from Sheikh Adel. What is special about Khabib's leadership? Having observed it, having video clips of it on this channel and on Brian's channel. So both of our channels have stuff with Khabib. But I would say what's special about him is he carries the line. He is a consistent gentleman. He is always practicing humility, which is a big piece of his religion. And he leads by example. And that's what's so special about Khabib and his leadership. And he shows. He's willing to do it. He's not going to sit there and eat a donut and tell you to do push-ups. He'll get deep in there with you. He's even working as a coach. He's out there grappling with the guys, and he's retired. That's leading by example, right? What else do you have to say on that one?
He'd probably be the first one to show up in the gym and the last one to leave. The guy's humble. I mean, he cleans mats. He helps stretch people out. I mean, if you need help drilling certain things, he'll jump right in there and help you out. You know, he's not afraid to help anyone out. As long as you ask, he'll help.
It's true, right? And that's what he's special. He never lets it go to his head. Khabib is a leader because he is the same guy, belt to belt to belt, you know, he's the same person he was when he probably walked in the door, but he speaks better English now.
Yeah.
And it's always better every time you see him. You know,
Definitely.
so yeah, I mean that old story about Javier saying he's going relax, relax, and Khabib thought that means attack, attack, and that's
Yeah.
always the joke. He brought it up on the podcast the other day between his dad Abdulmanap and Javier's like, relax, relax, haha. I love it. You make my son into more of a pit bull. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Anatomy of a Fighter made us fall in love with Khabib through the videos of Dagestan Chronicles, Legendary Level, London to Afghanistan. That's some love for you, buddy. You know, great job. Well, I mean, people have seen you all over the world. That's the same thing with my channel, you know? So,
Yeah.
so let me ask you, where is your channel? What's your demographics? Where are the people watching your channel from? We are big time outside of America, just so you know.
Yeah,
Share mine.
everything's out of the U.S. The majority of everything is overseas. I barely have a following in the States.
You know, this is really that's really nice, Sam. You know, I thought about doing some stuff just to build the quality of the podcast, all back to the people. I'm retired. I'm a retired military guy, and you know, Brian, he has a job, but you know, it's kind of hard for us, even though we could be about that. I don't know. I mean, if there's, I'm not going to turn it down, but how can we support you guys financially? Do you have a page, the Brian and Len money page? Because we've never pandered that way. We've always been little proud guys, right?
Yeah.
Think?
So fortunately, I am blessed through all my other endeavors where I don't really, I don't want to say need the money. I mean, we can always use more money, but I'd rather you put that money towards maybe sponsoring a child or paying for a child's meal or maybe donate to a good cause. I mean, I understand that, you know, you would love to do that for us, but maybe if you want to make a donation on our behalf to somebody or you know, feed a family on our behalf, hey, I'll take that all day.
I agree. You know, it's like if you have enough, you have enough.
Yeah.
I never need more than I can eat.
Yeah.
And,
Don't
you
get me
know,
wrong.
take care of my wife.
Don't get me
Go on.
wrong. I'm broke, but my bills are paid.
Hey, I'm feeling you. You live in California, man. I had to move.
Yeah.
The
Look
bills
at
got so bad.
my lights all flickering. So yeah, we're good.
We're gonna put Will back up here. We're blessed to have the presence of these athletes, once in a lifetime opportunity that Brian has had with
Definitely.
DC Khabib and the brothers in Dagestan. You
Definitely.
know,
These are memories
Yeah.
of life. I mean, when it's all said and done for all these athletes, it's crazy to just look back and like, wow, I was a part of that.
I get to. Oh yeah, here's a good one. I think we should all jump on that one because it's fun because we're all in the same gig. You know, get to share the different angles. Len, could you put Big Will Anatomy of a Fighter on your podcast? Be great to hear him live and share some of his stories. I'd love to.
Yeah.
Hey man, I'd love to have you on here, man. You know, everybody knows what you do, and I want people to see more of your work, and that's how it works. It's, you know, let the behind the scenes. Like when I started at AKA, I asked a young kid because I'm over 50, man. I walk in there and I go, "What do you want to see?" Because I don't assume he wants to watch old Starsky and Hutch TV shows that I watched growing up as a kid. He doesn't know anything about that. And you're younger than me, most likely, Brian. Don't have to put your age out. But my point
No,
is, right? Yeah, you're like, it's okay. I'm actually older, but you can say that. No. But my point is like, I asked him, I go, what do you want to see? They go, they want to know behind the scenes. That's of interest. That's why natural, sincere stuff flows. We're not actors doing this podcast. We have no fake thing. You know what I mean? You know? And Anatomy of a Fighter on the Bay and Javier Mendez YouTube channel, you're my favorites. Thank you, ZS.
Yeah.
You rock. Hey, yeah, definitely. We'd love to have you on here, Will.
Yeah,
We got here. We're
definitely.
going to get him.
That would be great.
Oh, he likes your quote, though. I'm broke, but my bills are paid.
Thank you,
We're gonna get that. See, that's how you can support him. The new T-shirt. I'm broke, but my bills are paid. I love it. You know. So let's see. Okay. Yeah, let's help this out. Will has often spoken lack of finances to produce content. Hence my question about donating. You know what? There's probably a good way to do it. I think that we need to maybe if let's say Will is doing
thank
something
you.
big,
Really
or
appreciate
you know Brian's like do like a GoFundMe, but like not like a GoFundMe like help me, I'm in the hospital, but something like you want to help a project come alive. Because there's traveling. There's like, you know, Will could fly in to, let's say, Dubai. And he gets there, And all of a sudden it's like, he's like, oh man, my battery pack's messed up. This is a $35,000 camera. Well, how much is that battery? That's $2,000. Well, that was my food money, and my flight back home, right?
But you know what, Check. I really tell you, I've been fortunate, real fortunate, where I have people like, some sponsors that, send me over, not monetary, but I mean, they send me over gear to wear. I mean, clothes is always an essential and you need clothes all the time. So, hey, shout out Nearfall. I mean, they always send me good gear. And hey, I'm forever grateful for
tech gear, camera gear. That's it right there.
It costs, but like the way I am with gear is, I'll save up, and eventually, if I can, eventually I'll afford it. That's my thing. I'll save and save and save. But Sam, definitely. I mean, I understand, but I don't know. It just, to me, it doesn't seem right taking other people's hard-earned money.
We'll have Will here. Maybe we'll have a better answer next time. Brian's rich.
He
does a lot of. He's got a lot of celebrity TV. I'm kidding.
No. It just feels weird. It feels weird.
Oh, so this is like Len and Brian, great fighters behind the scene. Yes, we're camera fighters. We fight for the media. That's what we do. And yep, people are thanking Will. I mean, Will is the guy that
he's the man.
He put AKA on the map. He put Dagestan on the map, and then anything we did was instantly. It was like instantly whammy. Did you notice that happen around the same time?
So it's weird because I knew of Will and he was a good guy, to begin with, but I was just overly ecstatic when he got that Joe Rogan podcast, and I think he was one of the first independent film guys to be on Joe Rogan podcast, and I just opened up my eyes like, oh man, if this guy can do the Joe Rogan podcast, I mean, from there, sky's the limit, and rightfully so. I mean, he worked hard, and he got himself known and put in the work, so it was very well deserved.
He took a risk. He took a big risk to go halfway across the world to catch something and then bring it back, so they're happy with what he filmed. And then you have two parties to make happy. If you don't make Khabib happy with what you film,
he'll tell you. He'll tell you right.
He'll tell you straight up, right? No, don't film that. He'll say that real quick, right?
No, well, we were just recently. I think we were in LA. He's like, hey, I need something put together. I need it like in 2 hours. I was like, oh man! So I threw something together, and I thought I was like, oh man, this masterpiece. And I sent it to him, and then I get a letter. I get a text message back, brother. What is this crap? Redo it.
Like it's my best work.
He's all redo it. I can't put that on my Instagram. And it was just kind of like brought me down. I was like, okay, it's like 2:30 in the morning. And I'm like, let me do it again. But finally, the second one that was revised, he approved and it was good to go. But yeah, he'll tell you. If he doesn't like something, he's not afraid to let you know, hey, no, this is not to my standard. Do it again.
Because you're competing to be the guy that stays to be the guy in that situation. You and I have to have very high standards.
Oh, yeah. In this line,
people, when I'm doing it or you're doing it, we both done it at different times for different things. And the same.
To replace you. Yeah, there's just, but the loyalty there, it's not going to happen, but it can happen. And, that's just something that you really got to think about.
It's a rush. You have pride. That Khabib or Islam or anyone has expectations. Coach Javier with me, he looks at what I do with the podcast. If someone tells him it's crap, I'm going to hear about it.
Oh, of course.
This is just how it is. I get to eat the beef on that one, man. That's just how it goes.
Yep.
Let's see. Well, this is a question. This is kind of answered from Cobb Village. Are you the dude that travels with Khabib's crew? And most recently, you did, right?
You're talking about me or Len?
Well, now. I did once.
Oh, okay.
Let's start with yours most recently.
So, yes, I am Brian. There's two guys. So it's myself and Carlos. Carlos is Fruit Juice. Mine is Iamthebay. So, yes.
Fruit Juice Athletics. Shout out to Carlos.
I just recently started traveling with Khabib. So I'm 2 camps in with him. But I've always done, photos and videos of him at AKA. But now I'm just kind of on the road with him as well. Yeah,
you live right near him. So you're there.
Yeah.
And, we've all had our chance at it. Will's had his chance. I had my chance. You've had your chance. And when you're in there, like, I'll do it forever. But then at the same time, now that I've stepped back and I'm not there even filming at the gym because I moved across the country away, I miss doing it, but then I love doing it. It gives me more focus on the podcast.
Yeah.
And I really care about the people. I love the fans of this channel. I love how they love and they like to listen to a man like Javier, who's so humble and a great coach. And it's nice to have someone out there influencing the world. And you're being part of that. It's a great message, because he's not here to talk smack about people or beat people down.
No, of course.
You might see a clickbait title, but Javier's actually saying something good.
Yeah.
And I try not to clickbait. I try to put legitimate stuff for him. But you just went, like, who were you traveling with? It was Usman, it was you, it was Khabib, it was...
Gaji, you had Tajir, you had Zuba. Just all the Russian guys who were here in the States, preparing for camps.
What is it like? Did you drive down there, fly down there? What kind of hotel did you stay at? What was the food like? What was your work schedule like as the camera guy?
So it varies because it's all onto the fighters' schedule and what they're used to. I mean, you don't want to vary from what their set schedule is. So he flew me out to Vegas. We stayed at an Airbnb. Shout out Carlos. There you go. So him and I stayed at an Airbnb. And basically, they kind of give you a schedule for the day. Hey, we're going to train at this time. We're eating at this time. And then, it's weird. Well, it's not weird, but we're traveling with the Russians. They have their prayer time in between. They have, their time where they focus on themselves. And you just kind of cater to their schedule. So you're basically on call when they say, hey, it's time to go. It's time to go.
Right.
Yeah. And when we were in LA, we stayed at the same hotel. I mean, it was by fluke. We were on the same floor as Khabib. I mean, his door was right here. Ours was on the back side. So it was just, walking to the other side. And that was set up just random, He had his room there first, and we, checked in, and we just happened to be right next door to one another.
Well, see, you never do anything to make him feel awkward. But
Right.
part of, with me inside, I'm going, I'm around history.
Yeah.
Oh, just keep focused. And then I go home and I leave. I go, I was just around history.
Yeah.
I was there in the camp in Dubai. I was like amazed. I know Will's been there. I got a chance to go, and it was kind of close set COVID. It was a little different probably than the last time, but I remember having a cheeseburger on the beach with Khabib, like it was a regular thing. That's my claim to fame. Cheeseburger on the beach with Khabib, and he's like, these are the best burgers. I go, awesome. Well, they're obviously the best because I'm eating one with you on a beach in Dubai. The burger could even be bad. It's the best burger ever. And they were great burgers. You know what I mean? Like having those moments, like I put a clip of you talking with him. They don't know that we get that close to them, but we're always mindful and respectful, not to crowd them with any needy or pushy energy. And sometimes we want them to feel like we're a ghost and we're capturing it, and they're aware of us. And you ever feel when you're filming him, he's aware of you, and like there's a psychic conversation, like the footage is playing out as you're filming it. Like you couldn't have directed it better. You ever get that feeling?
Yeah, definitely. And Khabib is excellent when it comes to, to filming. He'll kind of like give you a look like, hey, film me now. And then he'll just go from the top and spill his dialogue or whatever's on his mind. And the other thing too, it's kind of hard looking from the inside out, because when you become good friends with these guys, you just look at them like, an ordinary guy. And then you kind of step back and you're like, whoa, this guy's adored by millions, And the same thing with DC, they become such good friends that you don't look at him anymore as the superstar athlete or the world-renowned athlete. You look at him as a friend. So, you'll be casually talking to him, and someone will call, hey, so-and-so, can I get a photo? And you're like, oh, this guy, another photo. Hurry up so we can get, our burger in or something like that, So,
right.
Yeah, that's the weird portion of it.
That's the trip. I never in my life imagined, and I'm still eternally grateful for that trip. That was really crazy. I mean, I'm there filming stuff. It's history. I see, Khabib break his foot, and I can't say about anything to the world, and I won't. And that's why I'm picked. That's why you're picked. That's why the people in the inner circle, we don't say nothing to nobody, man. And it's like, what's releasable? You're certainly not going to call the news and go, hey, he broke his foot. And then, Gaethje's going, okay, I'm coming in with a stomp. You know what I'm saying?
So no, I did not shoot that photo. I know what you're talking about. It's I think he has like a black guy. He's wearing the Strike Force shirt and he has a belt on him. He's kind of leaning back, like taking in the moment. No, I did not shoot that one.
This is hey, Sam's going to support you. So you have to come on the show so we can put you more in touch with Sam. Just so you know, Big Will, we're going to have you covered over here.
You know what, Sam? If you want to spend some money, buy me a new camera. Let's go. You're really new camera. Check out my Amazon wish list.
Yeah. Do you have a wish list? I need to put one up.
No.
You don't have one? You're kidding. I liked it. Get it. I was like, get it, Ryan.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you.
Sam, we love you, man. And yeah, if there was something that would, I'd also want whoever's helping me to benefit from it somehow. If I ever had anything come my way, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
I'm usually pretty self-supportive, like you were. We're like guys that like a MacGyver. We solved the problem. But just back to like what Will was saying, I have a friend that films for a big Russian MMA channel, and he went over to film a Khabib fight. Might have been Dustin or something before that. Not the whole fight, but the news and the press conference, more like, Sherdog or something like that. And he's over there, and he's like, man, I had to go buy a thing, just a card for my camera, and it was like $250.
Yeah.
And he doesn't make a lot of money in Russia, so that's like, it might as well be $900 for something I buy at Target or whatever for $35.
Those CFAS cards, those CFAS 2, man, those things are expensive. So you know what, Sam, if you want to help out, give me a sponsorship. Give me a Canon sponsorship where they'll send me gear to use, and I'll be good with that. That would be
awesome.
Contribution. Yeah, definitely.
I have to give him a shout out every video, every podcast for life. That's the deal.
Yeah.
So the contract is getting written. It's funny. So Will, Len, and Brian, it's obvious you all do this for the love of the sport and not for the money. You'll support the fighters when no one really knew them, and storytellers behind the scene. Knowledge is power.
Yeah.
That's a nice statement.
No, it is. Just to touch a base on a little bit. What a lot of people don't know about Carlos is Carlos actually he does okay. He has little side businesses, and he actually sponsors some of these fighters. So he'll actually monetary help out the fighters too. So yeah, shout out to Carlos, because a lot of people probably didn't know that, and he probably doesn't want to know. But yeah, Carlos does sponsor fighters and help out.
Fruit Juice Athletic. Follow him on Instagram.
Yeah.
We're gonna get him on here and just have all the camera guys get. I'll try to get Will doing one-on-one or something with me and Hav, or me, Hav, and you, me, you, and him, whatever.
Yeah, totally.
Carlos, that would be fun. I think people, once they hear this one, it's not initially going to spike like when I have Hav on here, because they're like, oh, it's not Hav. But then when they watch it after, they'll find some interesting tidbits and maybe want to see the next one. That's one of those. We both listen to the podcast. We both listen to Joe Rogan. So we're like, I want to listen to that episode. I'll skip somebody's name you recognize, and then you're like, I'm at a podcast. You go listen to that other one. You're like, oh, I like that one. That was good. Well, here's a good one. Clips YT, you could turn super chats for the live stream. That's another way to bring in some funding for our next projects. We might just do that.
Okay. We'll give that one a go.
This guy's cool. Yeah, you guys need support. Thank you, Nia. I'm late.
Thank you.
I'm late for, how did you first meet DC and Khabib? You kind of shared it earlier, but maybe recap and maybe talk about meeting Khabib, because you did say earlier in the podcast you met him through a friend at the barber shop. You met DC there.
Yeah, one of my buddies that used to cut DC's hair. We went to high school together, and he introduced me to do DC at the barber shop. And then fast forward months later, I saw him at a Concord Fighting Show in Concord, and I took a photo of him with the sunset coming down. I think he had a belt on his shoulder. And he loved it so much that right then and there, it just clicked. He loved it so much, he called his wife, or his fiance at the time. We did another photo of the sunset coming down. I think he had a strap on his shoulder with his wife on the side. Perfect. As far as Khabib, I met Khabib at AKA, and it was just him coming in, training, and, because I do photos for everybody. If, people are going to let me take photos, I'll take photos of them, and I'll send it to them at the end of the day. And Khabib loved
even
it.
A guy that hasn't arrived yet. Even a guy, he feels special when he gets a picture from Brian.
Yeah.
A professional level, like I'd have to pay money for this kind of photo. But go on.
And I just do it for these guys, help promote themselves for their social medias or whatever fight, promotions or to help market themselves to get sponsorships. Yeah, whatever they need. And I do it all for free. I don't charge. Sometimes the guys will give me a couple bucks here and there, and I'll take it. I think one time I even charged the guy a Gatorade and a power bar. That was my payment, and I was happy with that.
You're expensive, dude. I don't know if I can afford you, man.
No,
that's
but
from. Go ahead.
At the end of the day, I just really want to say thank you to Javier Mendez for even allowing me to be in there. Because there's so many people that want to go in there and do what we do, and Javier just gives us full access to whatever we want. Nothing's off limit for us, and just hats off to him for allowing that to happen.
It's a crazy thing. My dad was a super coach like Javier, but in different sports. Never pro, but high school. He coached the Marines baseball team. He coached at Boston University and, actually captain of the team. And then he was captain and coach of the United States Marine Corps and he could have played for the Red Sox, but he felt he was too short, believe it or not. I'm 6'2", my dad's 5'9", so I'm like, I don't know. Back then they were looking for 6-footers. But I was always not really into coaching. And no matter how you're born, I was born from a coach. I end up being friends with a coach. And it's almost my dad's passed on. And Javier's like, I'm kind of here to fill that void a little bit. He's right. I didn't realize it. As much as I tried to run from who I am, I end up back to where I am. It's a full circle. That's a trip. You never knew that, but just sharing that with you.
Thank you.
Kind of an abstract thing. I just met Javier, and I walked in, and there was Khabib at AKA. Brian was already there for 5 or 6 years. I started filming up in Livermore and going to LA and stuff 16 years ago. I had some hitters with, we were filming back in the Strikeforce days, back in the Chuck Waddell days. And then that website fell apart, and I said, I'm done, man. I put down my camera for almost a decade. So, yeah, there's a lot that changes in technology every year, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you had to call Will. You're like, go. Right? You there?
I just told Will, hey, this is my budget. What do you recommend for this price range? This is all I have. And you just kind of like, hey, bang for your buck. I recommend you get this camera with this mic. And yeah.
Quick question
so
from
far,
E. You kind of I lost you a little bit on the stream there.
Oh, sorry. So far, just Will. I was supposed to go pre-COVID with Chase Saldate, and that trip had been postponed because of COVID. So hopefully, once COVID dies down, or when everything opens back up, Chase and myself will probably be making a trip over to Dagestan.
Yeah, I got to go to Dubai. That was my only trip, but that was enough. I mean, before that, with Chuck and other people, different trips, Vegas, LA kind of stuff. But now, I get it. And that one, like one of them is just so amazing. You've been on multiple, because you've been DC's go-to guy.
Yeah.
And DC is really picky about who he works with. That speaks to your skills. He is picky, man. It was hard for me to get to know him. Even in my camera, his way, he's looking at me, how dare you point that camera at me? Do I know you? Who's got that film controlled, right? So, I know. But Reza Ibrahimi, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for the job you're doing. That's really nice. And what's that? That's not really okay. There you go. I didn't know that was going to pop up there. See that later. My favorite Monty Jen, the diehard AKA Khabib fans definitely have seen Iamthebay videos, right?
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully. I mean, that's the goal now.
Go subscribe, please. If you haven't, if you're watching this, make sure to subscribe to the Iamthebay YouTube channel. You're going to get some great content. I get a lot of great stuff, but he's got a lot of great stuff. Will Harris has a lot of great stuff. Between all the 3 channels, they're not all the same video. These are where all these videos that you see, usually borrowed by other channels,
yes,
came from our cameras, spliced up and regurgitated into clickbait, right? And there's nothing we could do about it all the time. You know what I mean?
Crazy. It's crazy to see how many views some of these videos get. I mean, some of these are like 5-6 million views. And you're like, oh.
I'll put up a video. It gets 80,000 views. I look over there. It's got 6 million. It's the same thing I filmed.
Exactly.
I'm like, how did this guy get 6 million out of my same stuff? He wasn't even in the gym.
Exactly. Nowhere near.
You guys know who you are if you're watching this, you sneaky guys. So I put this up here. Brian, most watched video at 6.4 million views is the Islam's Russian tie snap. Did you ever expect such a huge response?
No. So that day I wasn't even planning on really filming. Man, I was like, let me see what's going on. And when Islam hit that tie snap, it was just, whoa, what the heck did I just film? If you look at the video, we're actually sitting down at the end of the clip watching it like, did this really just happen? It was so unexpected. But I mean, that clip, that one's the one that took off like wildfire and was spread everywhere. Almost all media sites had it. ESPN even reposted it. I think ESPN, Sports Center, that one was everywhere.
That was a great one. I mean, and then somebody follows up with poor Chase. Well, hey,
not poor Chase. No poor Chase, because poor Chase, Chase actually learned from that and hit it a few months later at a state tournament on one of his opponents.
Well, this is you because you're there now for Mami Eddie Sayad. If I ever say your name wrong, sorry, I'll try to get better as I go because I'm going to get more names from overseas and I have to learn. I speak other languages. You speak Spanish too?
Yes.
So the next podcast is in Spanish.
Uh,
Hablamos español.
ESPN Deportes, llámame. What's up?
Real talk.
Yes.
Hombres locos. I'm kidding. So, who do you think's the most underrated and overlooked fighter other than Eagle MMA fighter? Okay, well, I can't answer right now because I've been out for a year and a half. I went on the road with Hob, and then I went back and I moved out of the state. So you're there. Who are you looking at? Climaco?
At
Crutchmer?
AKA.
Yeah.
So
Who's the most overlooked that like people don't see that's not part of Eagles MMA?
right now, I would have to say probably Mark Climaco. Nobody wants to fight the guy. The guy has to go out of country sometimes to pick up fights.
Change his name?
Yeah, Mark Climaco.
Yeah.
I think he was recently, or he's going to be fighting on Bellator September or San Jose card. So just keep an eye out for that guy. Man, he's just something else, and the power the guy has is just outstanding. There's a few guys at AKA who have trouble, finding fights, and
Because they're too scared.
yeah, nobody wants
They're
to
blocked, right?
Yep. And the good thing on it, I mean, now with Mark, I mean, the issue before with him was that not too many people had footage on him, no fight film to go off of. But now there's a little bit out there, so a lot of guys are like, nope, I'm not fighting that guy. So definitely Mark.
He's in
Climaco.
Javier's dynamic striking video as his
Yep.
demo guy,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So he's in the video where if you guys want to buy the pay-per-view on how to learn from Javier, I mean, he's in contract with these guys, so I guess they're gonna make some money by selling the videos, but that's it.
The link will be down below in the description for Javier's video.
Yeah, I got to put that in there. And the description won't come until after this thing finishes because it's live.
It's all right. It'll be there.
I just know Makhachev is going to pour the hospitality on for Chase when he visits Dagestan.
Man,
that.
it's crazy the way these guys host. I mean, we went to go eat at Chechnyan gentleman's house, while we were in LA, and then Zuba got up, and since he was a Chechnyan brother, Zuba just hosted us so well. I mean, just stuffed our plates with food, and you're telling these guys, hey, no, enough's enough, and these guys just pouring it on. Yeah, and he's gonna be hosted very, very well.
You guys allowed us to view these exceptional athletes in a personal way that we all love. Thanks. It was personal to us too, and you're welcome, JD, from all of us.
Definitely.
Me, Brian. Of course, you could say you're welcome. They're like, hey, Manscaped advertisement. We're gonna trim our beards with it. The Manscaper. I don't think it's made for the beards.
Manscaped 4.0.
Well, it's obvious. Will was filming this too. They're killing us, stealing our videos. I swear.
Even
right?
on IG, and I'm not really one to count the IG followers, but man, some of these guys, they just steal your content, and within like 5 minutes, it got 50 to 100K views, and some of these guys, just rip other people's videos. That's it.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because I look at it and people are. I just saw the other day. You know what? I never thought they would steal Javier Mendez podcast live stream clip. Obviously, they run out of footage.
Yeah.
I'm like, I thought that was just gonna stay on the channel. Like, they don't want that one. There's no action. There's no Islam. There's no Habib, right?
Whatever we can get with the AKA name, we're stealing. That's it.
Yeah, that's how they look. Here is Javier walking a dog. That's a good video.
We'll take it. We'll take it. We'll take it.
Oh, okay. There, you could answer that one.
Extremely funny without even knowing. I mean, some of the stuff the guy says, you're like, whoa. Yeah, but he's a good guy. Very, very funny guy. And it's all natural. Nothing's rehearsed, nothing's scripted. It's just from the top of the head of Khabib, just being funny.
I'm 20 years older than Habib. And you know what? I respect him like he's at my age or above as an intelligence. Not because I'm egotistically full, but I'm like, I should know stuff. I've had life experience. I'm like, how does this young man know so much more than I wasn't even close to the level of his knowledge and his insight. He is funny too. He can turn it on. Him and DC, and then him and DC together is, I wish that was a TV show. I mean, I wish we get to produce the TV show. We're all 3 different cameras. You know what I mean?
If you had, let's say ESPN decided to produce a reality TV show, that would be number one. That would be the number one go-to.
YouTube thinks so. YouTube votes for it because all the views, right? Wouldn't you agree?
I agree. It would be killer.
I don't take credit for any of their funny stuff. They're funny on their own. Don't even suggest. I'm just a silent cameraman.
Yeah, you just
right?
point a camera at them, and these guys are just the banter. They go back and forth.
Yeah, and then that's that relation we have. We feel them when we're filming them, and the filming flows. They're aware of us when we're filming them.
So I
And
just want to clear one thing up regarding that. I get a lot of hate and a lot of people commenting with all the banter and with all the stuff you guys are doing. When do these guys train? What we're capturing is mere fragments of minutes of a whole day of training that we compile into a 10-minute clip after hours and hours and hours of these guys training. So trust me, these guys do train. We just get to capture the 10% of downtime where these guys are just goofing off, So just to throw that out there.
that's true. They don't see. I'll spend 8 hours in the day hanging out in AKA because I used to have to drive, and I didn't want to get back in California traffic. I only lived a 30-minute drive with no traffic, possibly 3.5 hour drive with traffic. At the time, I moved away. You lived there, but still, you could be going 3 miles, and it's a pain to get there.
Yep.
And you're getting time away from your family, but you're so committed because once you start filming, you want to finish the mission. Wouldn't you agree? Like I got to get there, right? I got to complete this, and I know Will probably thinks the same thing. But this is a question for you from Shake. What type of editing? What type of app do you use?
So for video, I'm pretty straightforward. I like Final Cut Pro X. I tried doing
Me
the
too.
Premiere, and I just couldn't get a hang of it. I know Will's a master at that Premiere, but Final Cut Pro, I can whip things up pretty quick, and it works for my workflow and for my style. It might not work for everybody else, but it works for me. That's what I use.
I use the same. It works for speed, for what I need. I'm not going to do. I'm a big picture guy. I think Will's a bit more detailed than me.
Yeah.
He's spending time on coloring different things that I'm not really focused in on as much. I
Right.
know how to do certain things, but my day to day, his brain's on a different level. He's writing a symphony. I'm just trying to write a song.
A melody.
You know what I mean? A melody,
Jingle.
couple lyrics, couple
Yeah.
beats, but And then they asked Will, what does he use? If we see it pop up here, we'll put it up there if Will answers. Maverick, what you did was awesome. I don't know what that was. Oh, this is in regards to Will's last thing. Did you see that one?
The amateur or fighter that just turned pro. Yeah, I saw that one. That was a good one.
It's a great one, right?
Yeah.
Late nights with Khabib and DC, smashing chickens and eating Popeyes. That's the name of the show. I love it.
That sounds like great.
And then I guess they're writing the script, and Islam is a sidekick. I guess so. And let's see. What is this one? So this is from Sam. What do you think about YouTube Shorts feature? Lots of users seem to be using that. Get picked up by YouTube algorithm and draw traffic. I do it. Have you done it yet?
I think I've done it twice out of the whole time. I think 2 times. Maybe I'm not doing it right, so I'm not too sure on generating traffic and the algorithm behind it. And the thing is, when I first started YouTube, the algorithm was a certain way, and it just changed. The algorithm or whoever puts the guidelines for it keeps changing it, so I don't even know what's in. And no clue.
Right. So that's the deal. Like I do them. You need so here's a good answer for it. We use professional prosumer level cameras when we're filming that have bigger like low light lenses because a phone can either kick butt or not. And then Javier's not going to respect us if we have phones and we're like, we're the camera guys, and everybody has a phone. So we got to have some pro gear. So it doesn't usually film in the floor mat unless you're got your camera turned sideways because you need that vertical. So I put up a few of them. Not a lot of views, maybe because traffic's slow right now. There's no camp. So usually the channel slows down a little bit when camp is over.
Yep.
That's why I'm doing more of these, to give people more of like keep it alive and let them know more of like what they might have always wondered. So yeah, you got to use a phone. So you and I are like, we get our big cameras. We're less likely to go, okay, let's go. Wait, let me put the camera down.
Right.
That's why we haven't done a lot of shorts. But I've done some. They're okay, 10, 15,000 views. I have some that have 66,000 views.
10.
Yeah, 10. Yeah. Yeah, that's how it is, right? Okay. So yeah, that was Miranda Maverick. That was the thing that we were just pointing out for Will that he just recently filmed. So they said that was a tough one to watch. Well, it was tough, the ending, I guess. This is a good one. My favorite, Bronte Janar. Why are some fighters so comfortable on camera?
What I think now is these guys are starting to realize that you have to be comfortable in front of the camera when you do make the limelight in order to learn how to speak to a target audience and how to present yourself professionally, efficiently, and get your message across direct to their targeted audience. Not only that, but a lot of the social media has changed. A lot of these guys need and rely on social media for sponsorship deals,
Their
promotional
next
work.
fight.
Yeah, you got to promote yourself. I mean, at the end of the day, that's who's going to promote you. You are your best promoter, and just within the last couple of years, these guys are starting to understand that, and that's all fighters, not just fighters AKA. All fighters are starting to realize that social media has so much power, so much influence that you have to be comfortable in front of the camera. You have to get it that
50% of the job or more.
Yes, definitely.
Right. Well, I think I have another take on that too, not to cut you off, but some fighters are comfortable because we learn to meld into the background and not be in their face. Okay, over here, we don't direct. We work around them. That's how I make videos. That's how you make videos. We don't set up shots with them.
Yep. And not only that, but you never know what work will come from those videos. Commentating gigs. Yeah, I think like Deron Wynn, he was asked to go, I want to say, commentate a wrestling or a jiu-jitsu tournament. So, I mean, you never know what or who is seeing your videos and how you present yourself.
Well, it's also Dana looks at you if he's going to promote a fight. He looks at social media analytic metrics.
Of course.
He's going to say like, oh, and I have a friend of mine. This is just a side note for you guys. I have a friend of mine that does professional NFL and Major League Baseball announcing on. He's a radio guy. And as we know, radio is probably going to go by the wayside because podcasting is taking over. Yeah. And, people like to listen to podcasts. There's less ads, or they can skip the 5 Joe Rogan ads and listen to the podcast, right? So that's what's happening. So radio's hurting. And, I told this guy, I said, if you don't build a social media platform, who's going to hire you? A streaming company is going to go, what's your social media? Oh, I have 23,000 followers on Twitter. They're going, yeah, my kid has 42, and he's just been drawing stick figures. He has 42,000. My kid's YouTube channel is bigger than your radio station. Yeah. And so that you have to work at it, right, to stay relevant. Wouldn't you agree?
Definitely.
That was an interesting one to go off on a tangent. So, how many innocent water bottles have met their end by Tony Valente off camera? Shout out to my man Tony. You saw that? Did you see that video?
So the times I met Tony, he's nice, calm, and cool, and collective guy. But then I see the videos of him, doing some knife work on those bottles, and it's just something else. I'm like, oh, I wouldn't want to walk into this guy in the back alley,
No, you don't want to mess with him. You might think it's funny, but it's not. Javier will tell you that's the guy that he just would never want to mess with.
Yeah, I've heard stories. No, I'm good.
He ain't the one. He's my buddy. I'll always be nice to him. That's all I can tell you. But I love how we phrase it. That innocent water bottle it was an aggressive water bottle. I'm just gonna, protect Tony on this one. So, from Bronte Jane, Brian, were you at AKA when Khabib's dad visited the U.S.? Did you meet him?
I never had the opportunity or the pleasure to meet Khabib's dad. No, I did not get to meet him. I think I was away with DC when he came, so no, that was one thing that I never got to do. Yeah.
Right. So what's this one? How can I contact you for a Zoom interview? I say hit him up. Hit. This is for. Is that if it's for Brian?
You go to Iamthebay's Instagram and you leave the contact Coach Javier or Mr. Len here. He'll be the best resource for you guys.
Yeah. So I'll give you up our IGs. Like if you want to get a hold of Brian, go to Iamthebay on Instagram and just message him. And if you want to get a hold of Coach Javier, go to his Instagram. He gets a lot of people, but that's what he takes it from. AKA JAV on Instagram. Right, Sam? Okay, what do we got here? He would never. I don't know what that is. Okay, and I'm trying to get you off to film everybody, right? MMA, the movie producers, Will, Len, Brian, coming soon. Your thoughts, Will, Len, and Brian. Is this project possible? I'd be down. Because, you know, you get 3 cameras.
MMA, the movie. I think there's a few MMA movies.
No, but if we all jumped in on one, like there was like, we were all shooting and brought it all together, we don't have to have the same level camera. That's one thing, right?
I wouldn't mind doing it. That's the thing that I'm open to travel to other gyms and film, you know, given the permission. I don't mind going to other gyms. I've been fortunate to go to some local gyms, and it's always very respectful, and it's always, you know, very courteous. So yeah, I wouldn't mind.
I've got to go to a lot of places before I was attached to one. You know, before. First I was the freestyle camera because I was kind of doing like interviews, like the schmo and all that. You know, I had a schmo that I filmed, you know, way back in the olden days. But going to other gyms is cool. There's just something about it's like it's too easy at AKA. You got magic coming through there. Like, well, I got a good one here, right? It's how it works. Let's see. Love the Khabib where Khabib recommended he cuts his hair very long. I'm not sure. Was that one of the ones that you had?
I think that was with him and Deron, one of the first videos of Deron, where they're commenting about the haircut.
This is a good one. What is Brian's favorite Will Harris video?
It's got to be the epic one. Oh man, and I hate to bring up this incident, but it was that bus incident, but where Khabib's looking straight into the camera and he goes, "Hey, send me location." Oh man, if you look at his eyes, I mean, that's all him. You know, furious, ready to go. You can see like the lion coming out of him, the killer, you know. I don't want to say killer because it sounds very negative, but you know, that instinct that, hey, it's gonna go down in my favor, and I'm gonna fight to the end.
Good morning from London.
London.
So we've had a good little rap session here. Was this more fun than you thought it might be? It's kind of cool with fan questions, right?
Yeah, definitely. I always like, you know, talking and answering, and you know, I'm glad, or I'm a little well, I wouldn't say glad, but more happy that people took interest. You know, I wasn't expecting a good outcome, to tell the truth, because hey, who wants to interview us? I mean, we're just boring guys who film and are behind the scenes, and you know, keep it low key.
We got some insight though, and if you guys want to, you know, sound off next time I put it up there, because maybe we'll do another one, and definitely want to get Will Harris on the line here to do a special with him. You know, because this is interesting. As creator to creator, I respect what you do. And at times, like I told you, I felt when I came into this business, I was competitive. I'm like, he's competing with me. And then one day I realized, you know what? We're all in this. It was like fear of, like FOMO, fear of missing the shot, right? And then I realized that we're all going to get our special time. And we're all going to do what we're going to do. And that really, ultimately, I came there to do a podcast, but I was filming to build another thing I was working on. And I still would film. I love to film. But then there's limits, you know? Go ahead.
Sorry, let me shut that up for quick. I think what would be cool would to do like a round table, or
right.
be you, myself,
the creator round table.
We'll do Carlos,
yeah,
stuff like that, and then maybe we can invite other, you know, cinematographers from other fight camps or whatever the case may be, just to come on and BS and kill some time. You know, that'd be kind of cool.
I think that would be dope, and you know, we'll have you share this on your communities. People could see that you're on the podcast here. That'll help, you know, you and people see that you're on this. I'll help you. I'm the YouTube back end guy. I get all the nerdy time left on me.
There you go.
You know, but I've really enjoyed doing this with you, and I didn't know.
Thank you.
You know, there's a lot I didn't know. I mean, I just admit like what it was like to go in there, and you don't know. I mean, there's all these people crowding, and you're trying to get the shot, and you don't want to step on each other. And it made me think when I get out of the Navy and I had to sell cars, and all these car salesmen were chasing everybody. Yeah. I'm not a car salesman anymore. I just thought I'd share that. But, you know, listen, I want to say, they said thank you for the Q&A.
Anytime,
so,
thank you guys.
Thank you very much. And thank you, Knowledge Power and Bronte Jane Eyre. And let's see, will you be there to film DC when he adjusts Connor's attitude backstage?
Man, I wish, but you know what? If I were to film something like that, it would never be released. Unfortunately, some things like that are kept best kept behind closed doors, between gentlemen, and you know, whatever they do.
Or one could be a gentleman and one could be out of hand.
Yeah, you know, and let them handle their differences and call it a day.
For sure, man. And they say knowing DC, he would actually get it on and he'd fight him. Yeah.
That's the thing about DC.
What?
DC, I mean, if he sees you and if he says, "Hey, wait till I see you," and he means it.
Well, it was awesome. Let's do the roundtable. Let's organize it, man. And you know what? I didn't get the fastest stream, so there was like a little glitch, but I'll make sure I have that next time we do this.
Yeah,
I had you on here a lot longer than you ever expected to do a podcast for.
Yeah, I just moved, so all this stuff's everywhere. But hopefully, I'll have something cool set up next time.
Just show me up next time. You'll have your own brick wall or your own green screen.
There you go.
So listen, everybody, follow Brian on Iamthebay on YouTube. Subscribe if you would. And also, he's on Instagram at Iamthebay.
Yes.
And it's been some great stuff. It's been such a pleasure. Thank everybody. Thank you all for your questions. It's made this show. It's made the show. It's what makes the show. The questions give us good talking points, and that's part of doing the live stream. How's your first live stream for you?
It's not my first one, but I mean, this one went good.
One last question before we sign out. Is there deleted scenes from Khabib versus Conor fight?
As far as the fight went, I'm pretty sure. I mean, you saw all those cameras, as soon as the mayhem went down, the camera just went. So I'm pretty sure there's stuff out there that we haven't even seen ourselves.
Well, people seem to have enjoyed this. Thank you, everybody. I'm ending the broadcast. You have a fantastic night.
Thank you. I appreciate it.